What's up, YT? I'm just coming in to you. I made it to the funeral and stuff. We got there. They didn't have a visitation because my auntie said she didn't even look like herself. So therefore, they decided yesterday not to have an open thing at all. So that probably was best for her parents, and I guess everybody ignores or whatever. You know, I guess it was so much trauma to her. I think it was just so much tragedy, you know. I mean, trauma to her body, to where it just she was just probably swollen, just dark or whatever. You know, people be in accidents. I just hate that I didn't get a chance to see her though. But I really just would have liked to have seen her for that last time though. But you know, God knows best. It has to, you know, that worked better probably for my auntie and for my sister. So it really did. My sister just exhausted, and she got a lot of, you know, a lot of emotions going on right now. But I know she's exhausted. She's exhausted, and then just probably not even knowing how you gon'. I think any person or parent would just be thinking, how do you go on? And I don't think it's nothing that you can say to that person, to be honest with you. Can't do nothing but go one day at a time. But I believe when we're grieving, one day at a time seems like a long day at a time, to be honest with you. When people say that to people, they ain't even visualizing that, because you going through so much at that time. One day at a time seems like 50 years when you're hurting or going through something. Because I remember when I was going through my battle with anxiety and stuff like that, first getting it, and I started to recover from it, when everybody was telling me, oh, one day this will be a thing of the past and blah blah blah, girls, I could not feel that at all. So I'm just saying, I know the feeling of when people say one day at a time, and it takes me to that. Like when I was going through that with having anxiety and having to take medicine, and your recovery process can take a few years. You know, first of all, when you're not a person that takes medication, then you gotta adjust to taking medication. It take you 5-6 months to adjust to medication, you know. Not to jump subject, but I'm just keeping it real right now. It takes 5-6 months for you to adjust your life to living with medication, you know, because some of the medicines and all that stuff, you do not function well. You got this give you bad side effects. You can't take this. No, it's no. That's why the only thing that I really take a lot is the lorazepam. And I have been doing, since I've been back to work, I do a lot well with gapping it out, like I said, because I be working. I don't like to take it on the clock or nothing like that. I do stay woke, I can function and all that. It just take a half of it. But a lot of times I be so busy working, and you know, when you keep your mind occupied. But mind you, it took me 4 years to not snap back, but just I'm back in the working field. So sometimes some of this stuff is new to me. Working is not new to me, but adjusting to work and having adjusting to work and being on anxiety medicine and having anxiety disorder, that's what's all new to me. That's what's all new to me. Working ain't nothing. I jumped right back into that. But when I first started back working, getting off and the loudness of working, it was just like the transition of working. I was used to being in the comfort of my home, kind of coming and going as I please. You know, I haven't worked in 8 years. I did hair and was a salon assistant, but like actually physically being on someone's clock, the last time I was on a clock was July 5th, 2008, when I was pregnant with my now 9-year-old child. And I don't mind working at all. It's just the adjustment. Everything with anxiety and medication is an adjustment. But know that you can get through this. And I don't even know why I'm talking about this today, but know that you can get through this is what I would say to somebody. Just like somebody told me, but I'm speaking from experience, a person who has dealt with it and all of that. You will get to the point where you just have to say, ain't no sense of fighting with the medication if you know that you need it temporarily. See, that's what I'll say. You don't know how long you'll need the medicine, but a lot of us don't even like taking medication. I didn't want medicine at first. I didn't like taking it, but at the time in my life, it ended up being the best thing for me because it gave me my appetite back. It gave me all kinds of stuff. It gave me my appetite back, and I was able to eat. So first of all, being able to eat and restore yourself, I had to recover from that. But shoot, once I started getting my appetite back, like I really, really did, man, I was loving all that, eating chocolates and blah, blah, blah. Because mind you, I never stopped desiring to eat. It's just my anxiety had me like that. And I remember when I was at the hospital, to bring you to my point, I remember somebody telling me, it'll get better. You will heal. You will look up one day and be like, dag, such and such and such and such. It was so many people in there that had been in my shoes that was in there talking to me and ministering to me when I was in there with that anxiety. And you would be in there, you all scared, feeling you on this medicine. But then God had everybody in there lined up, so I did calm down and all of that. I calmed down and I was okay, is what I'm saying. But once you start living that road that everybody's talking about, once you start to adjusting to your life as it is now, not to what your life used to be, because some of the things you used to do, you'll never do again, and some of the things you used to do, you will do again. Put it like that. But don't worry about trying to put all of the pieces of your life back together after coming from anxiety or whatever your issue is. Mine was anxiety, and I have accepted that I have anxiety, because once you accept it, you can heal from it, you can deal with it, you can help other people. But if I keep quiet about it, I can't help nobody. That's why I have gotten to the point where I discuss my anxiety with y'all, because you know what, pretty girls, and I'm gonna say this, speaking for myself, glam queens and smiles hide a lot behind those darn things, meaning a lot of people mask anxiety. That's white, black, but I can speak for myself as a woman. But people, period, carry anxiety. And one thing I will say to anybody that's feeling embarrassed about having anxiety, thinking you got anxiety, waking up panicking or having anxiety attacks in the middle of the night, because I would have sporadic anxiety attacks while I was asleep sometimes a lot in my 20s. I didn't know. I knew what they were, but it wasn't nothing. I thought sometimes if I got upset from somebody dying or something like that, I would get up and just feel a little anxiety, and it just would be my heart a little panting a little bit. But I did used to feel that in my 20s and all that. But like I said, 2013, you know, and some different things happen, and it's just what it is. And so I thank God. Like I said, some people, y'all sit around and we complain so much, baby. You don't even know what it's like to have your appetite going. Imagine having your appetite going and you want to eat and you can't eat, or you can only eat a little bit because whatever going on with your body won't allow you to put food in it for real. I mean, enough food in it to fill it up, so you're staying hungry because you're only living off a little bit. It's just enough to live. You know what I'm saying? But so what I'm telling somebody is, just stay encouraged. Whatever your issue is, and I'm speaking to the anxiety, the people that hide their anxiety, the people that's embarrassed because you got anxiety, the people that know something is going on with your body and you don't even know that it's anxiety. Talk to somebody. Reach out. Hit me in my comments, and trust me, anybody that want to know anything about anxiety, any women or anything, or you feeling these feelings and you embarrassed or whatever, honey, I will talk to you about it. Because the thing is, once you talk to somebody that's not been through it, like when I got out there and had saw all those people that were going through anxiety, and a lot of these were working everyday people. These weren't no quote unquote crazy people. These were sane people, quote unquote normal people. So that's why when I tell y'all 30 seconds away, everybody 30 seconds away from change or being in another person's shoes. So y'all need to be thankful is what I'm saying, because it was so many working people out there, you guys tell, it was ridiculous. And that's gonna be to be continued right there on that note right there. I'm gonna continue this story because it's so many parts to this. But what I wanted to tell you is, anybody out there that's dealing with anxiety, healing from anxiety, having to adjust to take your medication, baby, know that it does get greater later. But you got to be determined to kick anxiety's ass. And the way you kick anxiety's ass is what I'm going to be talking about in this series. You have to be determined to take your life back. And I don't know if people will tell you that, but you have to learn still that you are the driver. Sometimes anxiety will try to overpower you, but even when it does, you still got to recognize that you still the driver, but you still may have some bumps or something like that in the road. But you have to kick anxiety in the ass. And rule number 1 is admitting that you got anxiety. Admit that you may to yourself. You have to tell your brain, so what, I may have a anxiety and attack in Target. But you know what you start telling yourself? It's 57 million people in here. So if I start having anxiety attack, somebody gonna be in here to help me calm down or blah blah blah. That's what how I had to retrain my brain. Because when you first dealing with anxiety and medicine and all that stuff, you're afraid to go places because you think you're going to have an anxiety attack. I mean, your mind plays on you really heavy because you so worried about what if I have an anxiety attack? What if? To hell with what if. Because so what? If you do have an anxiety attack, so what? Pull out your medicine, pull it out of your tongue, and sit down, count backwards from 10, and keep it moving. That's the number 1 step in kicking anxiety's ass, is accepting it. Accepting you may have an anxiety attack, and get rid of a lot of those what if thoughts. Replace those what if thoughts with, so damn what if I do? So damn what if I do have an anxiety attack? So damn what if I do go in the store and only can be in there for 3, 4, 5 minutes? So what if I don't want to get in the car sometimes? Because that's part of your healing process. Because some of the things you don't want to do, you will do. And if you just hang on, and I held on to God, like I said, and the big G helped me through this. So that's all I can say. I ain't telling nobody else what to do, but I'm telling you what I did, okay? And you have to just be strong and just take your life back. Because when they were telling me when I was in the hospital, it's going to be, you going to do this and God got something for you. And I mean, you couldn't have paid me to even think that. That's why I said, when they tell, I didn't even tell my auntie really it'll get better. The only thing I really can tell her is I love her. And I told her it'll get better one day at a time. But even then, it ain't gonna get better for a minute. Now, because for real, I told her, don't worry. This is the thing. Don't worry. When you go through tragedy, don't worry about trying to get to the better. Just worry about taking 24 hours at a time. And 24 hours, like I said, a day seems like 1,000 a year when you're going through something. So that's my best advice to you, to anybody that's dealing with anything or anything, my loves. Just hang in there. Know that God is able. And stop being afraid to kick anxiety's ass. That's the name of the series you're going to hear me talking about a lot of time. Kicking anxiety's ass. Stop letting anxiety overpower you. You take back the control and you kick his ass. Whatever, you give him a name and you kick its ass. Which means being strong, fighting through the medicine adjustments, fighting through if it put you to sleep for hours. Oh, baby, I'm going to go off into all of these details with all this stuff. So, honey, be blessed. I love you. I'm going to be coming back talking to you about my anxiety story. So, to be continued. And until then, I'm out.